What's up, everybody? My name is Michael Parati. I'm here with Snake Eyez. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm feeling good.
How you enjoying Boston so far?
I don't think I've ever been to Boston before. It's pretty cold here, but it's there's a lot of there's a balance patch down the street, and it's that was pretty fun, and just to check out the city a little bit, like the buildings and stuff. It's a lot different from what's in the West Coast, but I like it.
Yeah, you kind of got lucky that there's no snow.
Oh, no,
It's not unheard of to be having snow at this time of the year, so that you got a little lucky there.
I sure did, because I brought like one of my little small Red Bull sweaters, and I was like, man, this is like this. The cold. It gets cold on the West Coast, but it's not like it doesn't bite you.
Yeah.
This over here like kind of bites.
It's pretty windy.
It hurts.
It's no fun. Yeah. But so you're here at the castle. I've personally never been here, but I think it's a great venue. How do you feel about it?
It's amazing. I don't know how this venue originally looks, but the look today is pretty sick. It looks like Union Station from Street Fighter V. It's actually modeled after Union Station, and it's funny because when I walked in, I was to some of my friends. I was like, "Yo, what stage is this?" And they started looking around. They was like, "I don't know." Then they saw the telephone booth and was like, "Union Station."
Yeah, it's got the big clock tower too that Red Bull set up, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you've been competing a little bit this weekend. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I mean, I kind of knew that there was a possibility that I wouldn't do too well because I entered so many Street Fighter games.
Yeah, there's 5 here.
There's 5, 4.
I meant like 5 total, but yeah, there's 5, 4.
Or 4 total. 4 total Street Fighter games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't enter Third Strike, but I entered Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4, and Street Fighter 5. And the problem is that like I play the same characters in each game.
Yeah.
So once I saw Green Hand, like my mind started like I kind of wanted it back,
Yeah.
And it kind of threw me off in Street Fighter 5, but it's all good.
So that's pretty fun. So I did want to talk something a little different. So in some other esports, mainly League of Legends, stuff like that, these kids are playing 10 hours a day or so. They don't really have time for personal lives. Some contracts even going so far as to say you can't have a relationship.
Oh, what?
So someone who's in a long relationship and has been for a while, how would you feel if someone was just like, yo, you need to focus more on your game?
First of all, if a contract is saying that you shouldn't be in a relationship, you need to leave because I'm not like compromising my actual life for something like that. I mean, no one should have a say-so in your personal life after you finish playing. Like if you look at basketball players, I mean, these guys, it's kind of the same situation, but they're still doing their own thing on the side. I mean, you don't hear anyone telling them that they can't have a girlfriend or can't mess around and stuff. So, no, I don't agree with that.
So you don't feel that it affects your gameplay at all, having a significant other?
Not at all. My girlfriend gives me lots of space. She understands that when I'm playing, I need to like focus, and also, I think it supports some players. Just to know that someone is rooting for you and they're there and they're like, they're supporting you. So I think that definitely goes a long way for some players, especially I want to say Cool Kid. So he was basically saying that his girlfriend isn't here today, and you guys don't have to worry about any loud yelling. But like he was kind of sad about it too because she supports him in the game, and he just feels better playing with her around. So I don't know. It works differently for some people than it does with others, and it all depends on the person.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a case-by-case basis. But playing as long as you have, how do you really keep in form? Like, how have you played this long?
Yeah. You know what? I don't even know like how I got so good at the game when I first started playing, because I only started playing Street Fighter, HD Remix for 6 months, and then I went to EVO and won it. And then I switched over to Street Fighter 4, and it took me the longest amount of time to get good in that game. Like I was trash when I first started playing. And then like slowly, and it was like 2013, I started getting better. And I think that was around the time where I won SoCal versus NorCal, and that's what put me on the map. Like that tournament was, that was like my debut for Street Fighter 4, and at that point I started understanding the game more, and I was like, I always had it in my head that I felt like I should win because I should be good, and like I'm an Evo champion, and like I should be beating other people mostly, but Street Fighter 5 has changed that a little bit, because like the skill ceiling is like a little lower, so you can't be so far ahead of everyone else. So you have to kind of play within limitations in a lot of matchups, and that can you can lose like when you play like that. But yeah, I study a lot. I study like a lot of players a lot, and I try to play online a lot and see if there's new tech that just came out. Yeah. I'm all over it. Like I'm trying to figure it out, and because I noticed that if I take Street Fighter 4 for example, if you don't crouch tech, if you don't buffer attacks, if you don't do option selects, and you just play raw, you're probably gonna lose. But then the moment you start adding on all the tech, that's when you get so like that much better. So I feel like all those things represent a huge quantity of how good you are. So you always need to be you always need to know tech. You always need to like just know about tech.
So in a more streamlined tournament, like a Street Fighter 5 main tournament, what is your practice schedule like? Are you watching VODs? Are you actually in the training room? What are you doing that kind of you feel sets you apart?
Mm-hmm. So I am basically watching some of my old videos and seeing where I made mistakes at, because most of the time when I lose, it's because of me, not because of my opponent. Yeah. So I need to make sure like all of my attacks and like frame kills when someone wakes up are frame tight and airtight, so that they can't press buttons, and because Street Fighter 5 is a lot more different than a lot of other games. Everything is a little more like strategic and sort of auto or like set play, more set play than the other Street Fighter games. So you have to make sure all of that is on point, and you have to just trust your reactions in this game, because it's a little more hard to react in this game. You have to. I've heard a lot from people. Yeah, you have to just. You got to be really aggressive, and you got to like have adrenaline pumping sometimes, because you just want to have lightning fast reactions sometimes. It'll definitely it definitely has helped me, but it's hard to get in that state sometimes. So I got to maybe run or walk around the venue for a bit before I play, just so that the blood can flow and I can feel good about myself when I'm playing. Yeah.
So when you're not prepping for a tournament, when you're not in Street Fighter mode, what are you doing? We've had Dew come on and say he's doing real estate, stuff like that. What is for you outside of Street Fighter?
So recently I've been doing a lot of content for Red Bull. I've been doing F1 races and GRC, and I went to ACL in Texas, and there's also Red Bull Summit, and just meeting a lot of different athletes for Red Bull, in their different respective sports, and just seeing how they do things and kind of learning from them and just getting more motivation. That's what I've been doing a lot this year, and it's really helped me to continue or just be better at what I'm doing now, because these guys are pretty sick. They're sick too. So it's just been a lot of that, a lot of hanging out with my girlfriend, and but mostly preparing. Or actually, I'm actually have an activation with a certain company where I'm coming out with a new device, and I can't say what it is yet, but that's going to be really interesting, because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I remember talking about this a while ago with Born Free, and it's still not finished yet, but it's coming, and that hopefully you guys can wait on that, because it's going to be sick.
Any rumors or hints that you can spill about that?
Oh, the project? Let's see. I think I said all I can say about it.
All right. So this is a qualifier for Capcom Cup.
Okay, yeah.
One of the last few. Heading into Capcom Cup itself, it's pretty stacked. I got the chance to talk to Tokido back at ESL1 New York, and he said he's going to win it.
He said he's going to win the Capcom Cup?
He's going to win it all. I take it by that face. You may not agree with that.
Well, he recently lost to Nemo at in Japan, so I don't know how that, you know, if he comes across Nemo, he might lose. And if he comes across me, he might lose too. Because I mean, I played Zangief and Akuma, so I don't know how he would beat me if I picked Zangief. But in general, Tokido is actually a really, really good player. Sometimes he surprises me because when I'm playing with Akuma, I have my, you know, composure, which is mostly what you want to, or how like the mentality you want to have with Akuma. But this guy, he just, I don't know, like, I guess it's because the moment Akuma came out, he stuck with him from start to finish. Whenever someone would tell him, like, yo, I don't think Akuma's that good, he would just say, no, Akuma's good. You know, I just didn't play right, you know. And I guess he'll go back into training mode, or he'll play some Japanese locals, and he'll just learn the matchup. And, you know, because every single matchup he plays, he's always on point, you know, in that matchup. So he must have more matchup knowledge and just, you know, some kind of information that other players don't. But in general, I think his skill level is just higher than other players. So that's you know, Tokido's just, he's really good. Yeah.
So bouncing off of that, do you actually have a favorite outside of yourself to win Capcom Cup?
Man, Nemo's really strong right now. I played against him, and I was like, okay, you know, for the guys who've been telling me that this is a bad matchup for Urien, I don't want to hear it anymore. This is not a bad matchup for Urien. It might be in his favor by a lot. And you know, that character is so sick, and Nemo's just a guy who takes full advantage of his character. You know, after Urien got nerfed in season 1, I didn't think that he was gonna be that good afterwards, but he's still a monster in the game. Yeah, and I don't let anyone tell me that he's bad. So, you know.
We've seen a lot of it, yeah. So you and Nemo, is that going to be the grand finals at Capcom Cup?
Yeah, but I got something for him. So yeah, no more jumping against him.
All right, so we have Snake Eyez saying he's going to win Capcom Cup. Thank you for taking the time, man. Good luck in all future matches. For sure. Hope you have a fun weekend. I hope you get to enjoy Boston a bit more. It's a fantastic city. Just stay warm.
I need to get a bigger